Hey guys, Table here. Today I got some more ranked gameplay for you. Bay on the screen, which means we're back in the T61 here. Got a match on the map, Ring. Pretty interesting match, kind of came down to the wire. Little bit of a comeback here, so I thought it was a good match. It's going to give us opportunities to talk about broad concepts, and once in a while I'll be talking about either my teammates or the opposing players. Not with the intention of picking on them, because I didn't see anyone playing really poorly this match, but we're just going to be pointing out things that could be improved. So starting off, we got a two destroyer thing, two destroyers per side. Fubuki's closer to A, I'm closer to C. In my mind, you need to get on these caps as quick as possible, hopefully flip them and get those points going, but at least get them contested and start spotting the enemy. He wants to go to A though, or C, whatever this one on the, I guess that's C on the left there. He wants to go to C. Whatever. Once I figure out he wants to go that way, we're going to go to A. I do pop the engine boost because we're a little bit behind on our deployment here. But again, just whatever you're going to do it quickly. You cannot be dawdling out of the gate in these ranked matches. Getting control of the capture zones early, or at least putting pressure on them, is it's important. So, just figure out what you're going to do and then do it. Anyway, we're going to go over here. First thing I want to point out is I have a Laga and I have an Aoba here, and what their advantage is by having a destroyer player that's going to spot for them, which is what I'm going to do, is they don't have to expose themselves. And what's going to happen when I come around this island is we're going to see 3 battleships, I believe, on the enemy team bearing down on A. Now, what's going to happen is our Aoba, by the time I recognize what's going on, he's going to be half dead, and he will die very, very quickly after that. You see where I am positioned right now? These cruisers can park right here, fire over that island very safely, and start burning these battleships down one at a time. If you go 50 meters to the right, or wherever I'm going to go, i.e. where this Aoba is going to start sailing towards here, that's how to get yourself killed. If you have poor destroyer play and they're not spotting for you, then you're kind of forced to take the matters into your own hands a little bit as a cruiser player. But if you have a destroyer player that's spotting for you properly, in ranked, you got to be firing from cover. You need to be trading asymmetrically. How you do that as a cruiser player is you send out damage into the universe without getting it returned in your direction. So the only way to really do that, barring the use of smoke, is to use cover. So you can see what he's doing right now. He's pulling around this island. I don't understand why he would possibly want to do that. He should go back to where my ship was, the edge of that cap circle, far enough back that he can shoot over there, but blocked off from the line of sight from these ships. He could be firing all day from cover and just be pumping out the damage, but unfortunately he's going to go down very quickly. And then the log in the background, if you see on the map there, if you keep an eye on him, he's probably under cover right now, but he will kind of pull forward and begin taking shots from that direction as well. So kind of poor positioning on the cruisers over here, which is going to put us down in terms of ship count and points. Now, luckily, we do have 2 capture zones. They have 1. So, because both me and the Fubuki did a very good job getting control of these caps, going down a couple ships early isn't the end of the world. But going down a couple ships early in ranked is a major problem. You want to be effective early on in ranked. In my mind, what you want to do early is pressure the caps, hopefully capture them, and stay alive for the first 5 minutes. That doesn't mean go sail back towards the back of the map, buff your Dewey, and then come back when your entire team's dead. No, that's never what I suggest. But, if you die early, like especially as the destroyer player, if you die within your opening play, your team's probably going to lose, especially if you're a good player. If you're dying early as cruisers, it doesn't really matter what ship you're in. If you die very early without doing your HP and damage as a cruiser or a battleship, that's just a massive deficit, because you only have 7 ships to work with, and if you lose one of them without trading roughly equally, that's a massive, massive deficit to get yourself out of. So just try and play more conservative while still being useful would be my suggestion. Icarus here, he's getting low, but he's got good support from behind him. Remember when we were talking about the Soviet destroyers over the last week or so? we kept talking about not getting so far forward that, you know, their destroyer, who you're pushing into, has a lot of support from their rear, and you don't have a lot of support from your rear. That's exactly the situation we're in here. I mean, I think we still have that Laga alive, at least for now, but he's getting chased out of here. And so we really have no support in terms of who can help us stop this push. And so we had to pop the smoke, we had to disengage, let the situation reset. Killing ourselves to kill the Icarus is not going to be the way to go about this. So we need to stay alive, and that's why we disengage that way. Now here we're going to see a lot of zoning torps. That's how I call it, at least. I don't know if that's the popular term or not, but just kind of throwing torps out into the general direction. And you can see right now we have 3 battleships that are roughly clumped up, and we know there's a destroyer player kind of tucked within that group as well. So you'll see I keep checking like the heading of all the available battleships, you know, trying to see where they're going, and then judging as a pack where they're going to go, and also looking on the, you know, the terrain and the map and saying to myself, if I was in those ships, where would I go? Because just because the white indicator says they're heading this way now, if they're going to be required to take a turn in 20 seconds, then you want to kind of aim towards where they're going to be once they make that turn. But, you know, we're going to just kind of get these torps down. You'll also note I did hold on to that salvo because they got off-kiltered. My torps got knocked out earlier, and I waited an additional 20 seconds on one of the torp reloaders or launchers to let those torps get synced in. When you're going to be zoning torps like we're doing here, just throwing them down and trying to prevent people from pushing through an area, you want to have all the torps grouped up. One salvo 4 here, followed by another salvo 4 over there, 20 seconds later. Very ineffective for zoning purposes. You want to get them in a straight line, a big wall like we got there, and so that's why we waited. Icarus pops up back again. We did get the early spotting advantage, and we got a shot off. Now we pull behind this island, and usually when I pull behind an island and disengage from someone, but we're in kind of an active combat situation, I'll usually turn around and go the other way. I mean, they're going to usually bank that you're going to continue doing what you're going to do. He pops his sonar. I haven't popped mine yet because I didn't expect my battleships up by our cap to really be in the mood to support me at this point in time. But once we do pop the sonar, I think we do see some shots from my team coming in to support me and shooting at this destroyer. So if that's the case, or even if it's not, it was a mistake. I should have just popped the sonar as soon as I knew I was getting sonared, because I have better range on mine, and we would have known for sure that he would have been, you know, available for a target. Whether your teammate's going to capitalize on the spotting or the sonar info that you give them, it's not really your business. All you can do is provide it for them and then hope to God that they actually do something with it. But we did get one friendly salvo coming into support, and then we caught the guy with a torp. Now this is a very long 20 seconds when you're waiting for this detection to cool down. I kept thinking, like, how am I still spotted? How am I still spotted? And I kept looking on the map and seeing my bloom was still max, so that was a very long 20 seconds to disengage there, but we did get away. And now, you know, we're tied in terms of ships. We still got the cap advantage, so what was looking like kind of a sure loss fairly early on is now feeling much more agreeable in terms of our chances. Now that said, I mean, we are down in score, but our team did a very good job of getting that B cap flipped. I don't know if you noticed earlier, but I was pinging that furiously, trying to get them on there, because obviously these battleships and their destroyer support were pushing through, and they had a Boudione, I think. They were all pushing through A, so we should assume they're going to capture A unless they're completely negligent. They did capture it, and by us moving kind of clockwise against, or, you know, not towards them, but away from them, we got B without much resistance whatsoever. They do have a T-61 up there. I'm trying to get up to the T-61, even though I'm sliver health, and I expect to lose any fight against a T-61. We have no idea how much health he is. Now we see him, he's got a quarter health, so I got a quarter of a quarter health, he's got a quarter health, advantage him. But I want to get up there to spot, because what he's going to do, the longer he's up there by himself, he's just going to blast these battleships, and we need all the help we can get. Not only because we want the guns and the armor in the fight, but score. Keep in mind, we're always focused on winning on the score here. You lose a battleship, it's a 100-point swing. I think you gain like 75 for killing a battleship, and the opponent who loses it loses 25, or whatever the ratio is. It's a 100-point swing. That's the important thing to keep in mind. So if these battleships start getting low in health and they get deleted, which is very possible, the score is going to swing wildly very quickly. So maintaining control of these caps, helping to keep these battleships alive from the T-61 as long as possible. These are all considerations, all very, very important considerations. Now we're down another ship, and it's looking a little bit more dire here. Again, I'm mainly focused on figuring out where this T-61 is, but we got to slow the Byron down. If we can hit him, great, but just getting some torps down his direction to slow him down, that's going to be critical. He's going to try and push onto the cap we're on now, C, and that's going to, as soon as he gets on there, we're not going to be accruing any more points, and he could even potentially flip it and then start getting points for their team. And when we're talking about a game this close in terms of score, this late in the game, we can't be giving up any sort of points. So we get the salvo down towards the Byron, and then we need to be pushing towards the enemy T-61. Now, the battleship to the north, I think it's the Normandy, is going to wind up spotting this guy. We see him on the map there. Immediately pop the smoke, slow down, because we do not want this thing to spot us for his support ships, again, the Byron, and those two battleships that will be coming around the island. So we got to get that smoke down. He continues to be spotted by the battleship up north. Great job there. And even though we missed that salvo there, we get him there. And look at this. 3v3, tied it up again. And this is a problem here. You got New Mexico, you got Arizona. And they elected to go through the middle of the map, which maybe at the time felt safer for them because they knew there was a destroyer down in the south. But now they have the destroyer, the same destroyer, guarding the exit here. And had I known the score was this close to the end, to 1,000, I would have definitely sent both salvos at this New Mexico. I just didn't have time to glance at the score because there was so much going on. So I torped here, I torped there, one for the New Mexico, one for the Arizona. Then I pre-locked the guns over the Byron, turned back over here and started gunning this guy down. Again, had I known that the game was this close, we definitely would have wanted both salvos at the New Mexico. Hit the Byron, got rid of him, and look at that. Had we stacked those torps, it would have been a kill shot for sure. But we did score hits there. I think we do at the Arizona. But I mean, again, if we killed the New Mexico, the game's over already. And if they kill one of our battleships, then the score swings back the other way. So this game was not over till it was all the way over. And our smoke was running out here, so I was getting a little nervous. But finally the score runs out, and we pull that one off. So I thought that was a pretty good ranked battle there. Kind of exciting. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. A lot of World of Warships coming all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. I do love to hear from you guys. And we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.